The topic of discussion for this presentation is you are a foreigner currently not staying in Singapore and you intend to start a company for a restaurant business in Singapore and how feasible this plan is. Or put it other way, for a foreigner, is it easy to start a restaurant business in Singapore? So, the main purpose of this presentation is to discuss the feasibility of this idea for an individual entrepreneur who is a foreigner. So this is not meant to be a guide to setting up a restaurant business. We have a separate video to explain you licenses and steps involved in setting up a restaurant business. So do check that video. So before we start, let's understand from where do we get these inquiries. So typically these inquiries we will receive from individual entrepreneurs from Asian continent. So typically somebody in India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Indonesia. These people will write to us and they are interested in starting a restaurant business and relocate to Singapore. So maybe they have visited Singapore at some point of time on a holiday tour or something like that. And they have seen that there are a lot of restaurants in Singapore, and Singapore is a high earning, densely populated country. So why not to try this? The other group is typically business groups who are already established in restaurant business in their home country, and they already may have few restaurants or food and beverages outlets under their management in overseas location. And in recent few years, we have seen some inquiries coming up for cloud kitchen startups. So these are the three groups, but I will say that more than 90% of the inquiries we get from these individuals from Asian continent. So let's move on to the next slide then. So why people think of this restaurant idea? And there are few reasons for this, because restaurant is a cash business. So you don't have any credits or you don't have anything collectibles. Once your restaurant is running well, customers come to your restaurant, they will have a meal or food item. After that, they will pay and will go back to their work and the deal is done. So it is a cash business, it is a cash rich business. The model is profitable model. So if your food is of a good quality and people like it, many customers will come to your restaurant and you can earn reasonable amount of profit. And there is a huge market because every person needs at least 3 meals in a day. And presuming that some of these meals is cooking himself, still there will be enough demand in Singapore, for which has a population of 5.5 million, to capture this market. So what people think is if the idea is successful, then it can be replicated in more than one place and profits can be multiplied, which is true. For example, if a single restaurant is making you a profit of say $20,000, and if the model is profitable and if you can then replicate to let's say 10 restaurant units, then you are going to make $200,000 by way of profit. And this is really an attractive proposition. So moving on to the next slide then, what are the restaurant models in Singapore? So there are broadly four types of models. Models means how the restaurants work. So the first model is of a HDB hawker center. So you will see in this photograph, maybe in some HDB block, this hawker center is there, which is government agency managed. And there are small units where a person can rent this unit and then cook whatever he is good at. People come there and they will pay him about the food, whatever the charges are, take the meal, sit at the tables, eat it, and that's it. So you don't have to manage any sitting arrangement. The cleaning services are provided by that authority. And many places the washing and everything is also taken care of. So what I've seen, many people who travel to Singapore invariably visit one of these HDB managed food court or hawker center, and they think maybe I can rent one of the unit like this, and then I can have my own living and I can settle in Singapore. But keep one point in mind that only Singaporeans or Singapore permanent residents can rent these hawker center stalls. As a foreigner, you are not allowed to rent this. So first, this option, which is the cheapest one and the most easiest one, is out of your scope. The next one is again a food court, but this food court is in a shopping mall. So this is Westgate Shopping Mall, and in this mall there is this Food Republic. And if you carefully see that you can see there are two or three different stalls inside. So your company can rent one of the stalls and provide the cooking services and sell the food items. People will generally come there, buy it, and make the payment. Obviously, because it is in a shopping mall, it will be costlier to rent. The rentals will be high, and there will be some other terms and conditions, which I will cover in the next slide. But this option is available to foreigners. The foreign companies or the foreigners who are starting out are generally not preferred by the landlord. The next option is to rent an independent unit for your business and have a complete unit of your own. So this photograph that I'm showing is from a Racecourse Road in Singapore, which has a lot of Indian restaurants. So this photograph you are seeing it appears to be of Delhi restaurant, and next to that there is some Shakuntala's food outlet. So you can rent a unit like this, and obviously the entire management you will have to provide. So in previous two examples, possibly the washing of dishes and cleaning of the tables and everything was taken care of, but that will not be the case here. You will need a staff to do that. And the last option is a restaurant in a shopping mall. So this is again an independent restaurant where nothing is taken care of. You will have to get your staff to do everything. But this restaurant is within a shopping mall. Obviously, then this is going to be very costly in terms of rental. But the benefit is that you are going to get a natural human traffic because many people visit shopping malls and maybe after doing shopping they're tired and they want to have a food and maybe they will enter your restaurant. If we go to the previous model where there was an independent unit at some remote location, people have to make specific plans to come to your unit for the food because they like it. So these are the four restaurant models, and let's have a comparison of all these three. So the first column, HDB Block Hawker Center stall, I have left it blank because this is not available as an option to foreigners. And the next three are available. So typical monthly rental for shopping mall food court stall will range somewhere between 10,000 to 30,000 Singapore dollars per month. The amount is high, but this is the rental. So in some cases, the rule is that 25% of monthly sales you will have to pay by way of a rental subject to a minimum rental. So if your monthly sales is $150,000, then you will have to pay 37,500 by way of monthly rental and manage all other expenses in the rest of the money. If you take an independent restaurant, the rental will range between 5,000 to 30,000 Singapore dollars. So 5,000 you're talking of some remote location and maybe a small unit, and 30,000 might be a better location and maybe a larger unit. If restaurant is in a mall, then the rental can be $20,000 to $50,000 depending upon the size and the volume of human traffic at that mall. Regarding rental deposit, for shopping mall food court, typically 3 months rental will be taken as a deposit. For an independent restaurant or restaurant in a mall, 3 to 6 months rental will be taken as a deposit. So depending upon your restaurant size, if your restaurant rental is higher, you are going to need significant amount for this rental deposit itself. The next important part comes, that is of a renovation cost, because when people come to your restaurant, they need to feel good and ambience should be quite enticing. So for shopping mall food court, there is not much cost here because you don't have to do anything on renovation. The chairs, tables and everything is taken care of. But for an independent restaurant, it can range between 15,000 to 100,000 Singapore dollars depending upon what you plan to do. At restaurant in the mall, it will cost again some good amount because mall want that restaurant should have a nice exterior and interior. So you cannot cut corners here if your restaurant is in a mall. Then there can be some additional costs which are not much in case of a shopping mall food court, but in case of an independent restaurant and a restaurant in a mall, there can be kitchen equipment costs, grease trap, fire safety equipment, serving staff, cleaning staff, washing staff. So the total upfront investment can be $30,000 plus in case of a shopping mall food court stall. For an independent restaurant, it can be $200,000 minimum, I will say. And for a restaurant in a mall, it can be $300,000 minimum or plus. So the actual total cost depends totally on your plan and it cannot be generalized, but it is a capital intensive business. So obviously people think then starting a shopping mall food court is something very reasonable because 30,000 is something that a foreigner can manage. But there are few points you need to keep it in mind. So when it comes to a shopping mall food court outlet, these places are highly in demand. So today if you search in Singapore in good shopping malls, no place will be available. If a new shopping mall is coming, you will have to plan in advance and contact the shopping mall management many months before the completion date. Otherwise, all the units will be taken up. And if any of the unit is profitable, they will not leave that place at all. So you can get a place which is not profitable, and that is why the person is leaving it, but the chances are very low. And another point that you need to keep it in mind, shopping malls also prefer to give it to established businesses. So if you are a new foreign company, foreigner promoted, they will not be much willing because they are worried that in case you cannot manage, your company might go into problem and you may not be able to pay rental on time. So if another established business comes, another company which is already having few units running in various shopping malls in Singapore, the landlord will prefer such a person to be given on rent. Now there are few more factors that you again need to consider. What is the demand for the cuisine you are offering? For example, people think that the cuisine they are offering is of highest in demand, but that may not be the case. For example, I have seen many Indians thinking that everybody needs Indian food in Singapore, which might be true. I mean, some people really like Indian food, but still, majority of the population is Chinese. So the demand for your cuisine is likely to be limited in that case. The second point to consider is how much is the human traffic at the location you plan to set up your restaurant. Because human traffic is very important. If your unit is far away, then people need to specifically plan to come to your restaurant because they like your food. And then this extra efforts needs to be compensated by the quality and the taste of the food. And then what are the other food options at the same location? For example, if you are planning a specific cuisine and if already there are units of that type, then it may not make much sense to compete with all those who are offering the same food as you are serving. And the last factor that you need to consider that to make all this plan, you will have to go for employment pass application and then migrate from your home country, and whatever business you are doing in home country, you are going to shut it down then. So in summary, I will say three things. First is food and beverage scenario in Singapore is sufficiently crowded, but it can also be quite profitable business because because Singapore average per capita income is quite good, and many people prefer eating many times in a week in an outside restaurant or a food court. But if you are an individual entrepreneur and if you want to start restaurant and relocate to Singapore, then you need to keep it in mind the upfront investment and the competition.
Thank you for watching this video. This video was brought to you by Epica Consulting Singapore. Subscribe to our channel today to get notified when new videos are posted.